You have been waiting for long, but now, finally, we're back with building a Super-Battlecarrier. Gmodism. So here we are at its current stage, and in this little video we will basically go through the final stages of this ship. Mounting the drones and adding some extra decorations and stuff like that. So, hope you will enjoy it, and in future we will hopefully be able to make some battle testing as well. So let's hope that the LCG Canyon is happy with this build, because as you probably know by now, this ship is built for Admiral LCG Canyon, or Wani Ryujin, who has ordered this ship as an admiral in the army of Gmodism, and that's our patrons. So, huge thanks for the support, and hopefully this will be a worthy little ship. It's the largest thing I ever built, and usually for the admirals it was kind of listed to make a little battle fleet. But LCG Canyon wanted me to build a ship instead, like one ship, one single ship, a carrier. And I got a little image as some kind of inspiration, and after we talked some, I was building it with the help of, well, my own imagination, some inspiration and some preferences LCG Canyon had, and other than that, using this image as some kind of little reference and inspiration. So you can see it's, of course, it's not a replica. I can't even make replicas, but not that I've tried so much, but you can clearly see it has some similarities, and that is naturally intentional with these large decks here. But anyways, we should be moving on to the next little iteration of this ship. So I'm not actually sure what was different with this iteration. I think we actually covered this in the last video, so we won't be looking at this very carefully. But I will tell you this, I decided to add some kind of interiors. We're not gonna have a lot of interiors. Like firepower was a little bit more important for LCG Canyon. Of course, it's hard for me to test the actual results of this, but we will test the result with some help. So interiors isn't the most important thing on this build, but I wanted to have a planning room. That was like nothing LCG Canyon wanted, but I wanted a planning room on this ship. So inside of here we are going to add some kind of planning room with some like army of Gmodism officers standing around, and some screen and some table. Yeah, just so you know. But let's move on to the next actual build. Yeah, next iteration. And there we have it, the next little iteration, an almost complete little planning room with a flag, of course. I think that's actually the only new thing in this save. Maybe. Oh no, I remember. I added some army of Gmodism personnel, and here we have a matros chilling around there. We have some standing at the rails, looking outwards like that. I think we have someone. No, we don't have one on that side. I didn't want to spam them too much. I just wanted to have a few. I don't know if these are... No, I think they were there before as well. Or no, they weren't. There is one. One chilling around there. We have... This one has been there for a while. That's not new. And... do we have... Oh, we have one back here, right. Here we have another standing and chilling by the rails. And... I think I... Did we put him... Oh... It's retracted. Anyways, here we have someone standing with the computer systems like that, and we got... okay, the next ones are added in the next little phase. One thing I did, however, is... here we have a little emergency room, so we can walk down here, and we have some information, and emergency room radio. some live support systems. And here is kind of a text, describing the process and the ship and stuff like that. So I thought that was a little bit funny. There's probably some place I forgot to show too. In this little version, we have started to plan out where we will have the VTOLs, or the attack swarmers as I've called them. And we've looked at them a little bit before, so I'm going to show you the like final versions of them. They're kind of the same, I just updated them a little bit. So we kind of will have them here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 8 per side, so 16 in total, and 2 of them are going to be, or 2 of them are rather, what do we call them? Squad leaders. So they're leaders of the squad. Oh, and here we actually got some sitting around down below there, and some lights here too, because that was missing. Kind of weird that it was. Anyways, we'll have them there. And one other thing I have decided, I talked a little bit with LCG Canyon, and we were talking about some kind of mecha-like drone thing. It wasn't in a plan from the beginning, but I kind of liked the idea, so I decided to try and add a little tiny platform. And on this platform, we're gonna have a mecha-like, well, flying little thing that will basically assist in detection of enemy vessels. So we're going to design, we're designing some nice looking thing there and adding that. And it will be my first experimentation with a separator block, so it will not be a sub vehicle. It will be a part of the ship that gets separated off on command. And on top of here, you can see I've added some "Don't Fly Into Me" lights, as well as some. Well, this is the port, and this is the starboard light. I don't know if they're kind of the right color, but I don't know. Yeah, and I also added some blue lights in the front because I thought it looked a little bit cool with just a little dash of light. The drones are now installed onto the ship in this first little carrier thing. And you can see they line up pretty nicely, and even without being inside a battle, my RAM memory begins to be pretty full, so we're having some FPS sadness. But here you can see them, they look pretty nice like that. Even have some almost little cockpit-y area, and they're just sitting here above the, above the deck using some dock thing. What is that called? Tractor beam? Is it called a tractor beam? I think it's called a tractor beam. It's a little thing here below, and it's built on a piece of rubber so that these blocks on top of here won't be casually EMP'd. When we did this, yes, tractor beam. When we added them, the total cost of the ship has been increasing with around 300,000. Yeah, because, well, they don't cost very much each, but we have 16 of them, so added up together, their cost is of course significant, and you know that's kind of the point too. One thing, this one has, yeah. So some of these they're a little bit weak against laser. I noticed. They are mostly here to assist in taking out enemy like big ships. They of course have the 500mm diff cannon shooting some, well, this one shoots hash, and the other one shoots just a frag, basically a frag pole. We have some missiles connecting up there. We got some turrets aimed here as well, and the squad leaders, they have some repair tentacles on them too, so they can repair their friends a little bit. They also have smoke protection, so the squad leaders are somewhat protected against lasers. And all of them do have shields now, so that's something I added to them, shields. So they will be getting some type of defense, but most ships will target the biggest thing, and if they target the biggest thing, they will probably target, you know, the main ship, and hopefully these ships won't be targeted. And if they are targeted, they will probably want to target the most meaty design, and that is these, of course. And the squad leaders actually don't do the most damage towards enemy big ships, because these are more adapted to deal damage against big ships. So these attack swarmers on this ship is of course mostly here to assist in taking out enemy targets, rather than shooting at other things in the air. But I did try to adapt the squad leaders in order to take out enemy aircraft too, because they have like big blocks of small missiles that can take out most planes and stuff like that. So here we also have the little mecha drone on this thing. You can see it here. This is basically the final form. We added a little RTG because there are some there are some issues with having a vehicle that spawned from the separator, but I think it's really cool that it's doable. So inside of here we can actually see the little ships, and they are called AoG HLP, because that's like the combo of the so AoG is of course Army of Gmodism, because it's an Army of Gmodism build, but the HLP is the prefix that LCG Canyon uses for his Ryujin faction or Ryujin Federation, and the vessel, the attack swarmer. I call this V-tool an attack swarmer. I basically named it Storm, which is like storm, the really bad weather in Swedish. So, and here we have the Mark II, and the Mark II is the squad leaders. And what's really funny about these, now we couldn't make what I really wanted to kind of make them actually control like roll steering and everything using ACBs. I need to learn to make some breadboard. I need to bake some bread in order to control the spin blocks by that. But it's a little bit too complex for me. So I basically set them to be vertical and do most of the hovering. If we are not moving forwards very fast. If these are moving forwards at a decent speed, they will actually tilt the propellers forward and thus be able to gain a much higher top speed. One little fun detail here is that you can see that here we can see this one is Army of Gmodism squad lead, and we have Cadet Marty McBacon. So Marty McBacon is actually our longest patron, and he's in the like cadet tier. So I thought it would be cool that he were put in the squad lead. And this was actually like having the AIs named after some other officers in the Army of Gmodism was actually a suggestion by LCG Canyon. And I thought it was a super cool suggestion, so I was like, let's do it. And I thought that cadets is very fine for aircraft because, you know, flight cadets, it sounds a little bit similar, or space cadets. Any case, so the squad lead is Marty McBacon, and then we have Cadet Shark 93, who to my knowledge doesn't even play From the Depth, because everyone supporting the channel isn't even interested in From the Depth. But since I wanted a cadet for this, Cadet Shark 93 it is, so I hope he's honored, even though I'm not sure he'll see this. I think I send this video to him. so you can see. But any case, and that's of course the regular ones. So we have like, I don't know, 14 Shark 93 clones. So I guess Shark 93 is a clone now, but he's in the AI for the, well, the regular attack swarmer. So the attack swarmer Mark 1, it costs 12,000 materials, and the Mark 2, the squad lead, costs 17,000. I got 3 of them here, and they're not really set up to battle like flying things, but let's just have a Geiger. It should be, I guess, more expensive than all of our 3 together. So even though they're not set up, of course they should be able to deal with some basic stuff from the deep water guard. Now these diff guns will probably not hit a vessel like this very easily because it's just a little bit too fast. And some of the missiles are heat seekers, so the Geiger might be very saved by having flares like this. But we can take it down. We do some... Oh, now it's probably a good place to do some diff gun damage. God damn it. You almost shot your friend there. That's not too good. Well, this one has machine guns mounted here. And of course the big boxes of missiles. So these are kind of here to protect ourselves a little bit in air. But they are of course really set up to deal with naval targets like this. So if we, for example, we can just spawn some ship of some kind. I don't know which. Let's have something like the catapult. And now the diff guns, they of course need to be reloaded. I think that because that's like most of the damage comes from there. Come on. So we should probably refill. And it's like a 100k ship. So we can see this is like the optimal scenario for diff guns like this. They deal a lot of damage for like basically no material spent. You can see we're dealing pretty deep damage, and some of them miss. And here we got, oh yes, ooh man. So some of them actually have flares like this, and that helps some of the other missiles locking on. So the Mark 1, the white attack swarmers, they stick some flares on, which help many of the missiles from the Mark II, the squad leader, to actually hit its mark, since it will be like sticky flares on the target. I thought that was a cool little thing. There we see, yeah. As you probably saw here, it is actually cluster missiles. The Mark 1 uses cluster missiles, so it's very medium, and then it empties out with some extra flares from within it. So I think it's a pretty cool concept. It works pretty well. Like the cost of these 3 ships is like, I don't know, 17 plus 12 plus 12. So it's well, it's below 15 anyways. I'm not the best head counter, but they can of course deal with a catapult like this, even though it may be pretty heavily armored. The diff guns deal some pretty deep damage, so it is disabled, which is very nice, and it's just slowly dealing with it. So they do their job. And again, they are really here to help with dealing with heavy sea vessels. But since they are sitting around, since we want a diff thing, they are kind of just sitting here. So zapping them out with flak and lasers, especially lasers, will be a little bit weak point. Hopefully this one will take the flak because it has more repair bots and smoke as well. And it has more visible shields, even though the shields of both of them are equally strong. But this shield is kind of a little bit invisible because I didn't want it to be so obvious. Yeah. But that's the attack swarmer's final form in action. So I think it's time that we go looking at the most recent iteration of the battle carrier, which I do think should be basically complete. We will be coming back with some battle testing of the battle carrier in the future, but I need some help from a friend doing that, so my computer isn't powerful enough to pitch the battle carrier with all the drones attached. I don't have the resources to actually pitch that against like a 2 million ship, and certainly not pitch it against something a similar size. Oh my god, just by spawning in the final form, the game, you can see in the top here, degraded mode is here. We don't even need to start the battle. It's like instant degraded mode. Well, anyways, let's look at some stats. The final cost of this ship, if we say that we will not upgrade the armor or anything, I don't know, of course. We'll need to do some battle testing and stuff like this. If we have to change some stuff later, the final cost may change. But right now, the total material cost is 6.5 million, which makes this the absolute largest thing I have ever built by all means. This is huge. I never built something this large, and it will probably be a very long time before I will, because my computer can't really build this large. So I guess I will not build this large, except of course if another person decides to join the army of Gmodism Admiral and does not want a fleet of ships, but rather wants one enormous ships. I guess then we'll just have to do it anyways. But we're now going to check out the final form of this ship, and I should remove the not nice looking HUD, and we're gonna set down the speed of the game here so that we have some better FPS. Now we can see, okay, we didn't get rid of degraded mode, but at least our FPS flows a little bit more smoothly. Right, so you may think it looks exactly like it did before, and that is because it mostly does. We implemented some shenanigans to make stuff work very nice. I have spent a good amount of time of limiting the movement of all turrets, so they should not accidentally shoot each other very often anymore. And I also, and also that they won't get stuck, and that they will always be able to aim at the enemy, so the movement of the turret has been limited. Then what I've done is when there is an enemy, when the ship detects an enemy, it will first release the ships here in the front ones. This one, all of them, they will go up in the air with an altitude of 100 meters, because that's something we can do with tractor beams, and that should get them out of the way of any cannons or missiles firing, and then the first half get released. Then we have a delay of about 5-ish seconds, and after that the four ones in the back, the last ships, they get released in a second wave with a small, well, kind of a few milliseconds in between. And that is because otherwise, when the ship is broadsiding and ships are released and flying to the side, there is a small risk that the vertical large missiles here and here collide with one of the ships and kills it, and that's not very great. And I got some help from my friend Nova Galaxy, who did some testing for me and reported this, and this is a fix. And I don't have the response if it works yet, but hopefully it does. Otherwise we'll need to fiddle around a little bit with that. But that was the issue that I found, and that not me found, but Nova Galaxy found, that I repaired. Hopefully. And after that too, I have I decided that it was cooler that this mech were standing and watching to one of the sides like this. Yeah. We should actually do like this. We should be... Can I like... Come on. Alright. We'll need to first get out of there, then get in a build mode. And we're gonna release this thing so you can kind of see in real time. And there it is, separator. We're gonna... It's separating automatically when there is an enemy in the vicinity. And you can see here, inside of here, it has the name Army of Gmodism Observer Suit Mark 1. I thought it was a little bit funny. So, we basically just click separate, and it gets separated. Very nice. And, oh god, the lag is pretty bad. Alright, what are you doing, my friend? Okay, are we reaching stabilized orbit now, or... Oh my god, what are we doing? It's acting up. It didn't act like this last time. Okay, it's acting up. Or never mind, maybe it's not acting up. It just has a little janky starting trajectory, who knows. It's like this. It flies around, it hangs around here, hangs around the ship here. It should of course face against the enemy and provide us with additional detection. It's its only purpose. It has some repair bots just so it does something, but in all other like cases it doesn't do, like it has no purpose other than providing extra detection. I added an RTG so it provides its own power, and that will prevent it from crashing into the sea. And you might be thinking, okay, Gmodism, why don't you just make it take power from the main ship? And you know, I try to do that a lot of the times, but we can't save these settings. Like, we can set it now, of course, but when it's whenever it is attached to the main ship, it can't take, like, when it's attached to the main ship, it doesn't exist as a independent ship. So we can't do the setting, and that's a little bit annoying. And this also means, I thought it was really cool to use the separator block, so I still kind of want to have it, but it does unfortunately not attach itself. We'll need to go in here and select it. And again, we need to select it here. So it's a little bit like that, and we select it with a tractor beam, and we can't automate it coming back here. We just can't do it. Because when it's not attached, it doesn't technically exist. So we need to attach it, and then we can just click this blue button, and it gets automatically attached to this little platform. Unfortunately, however, because the tractor beam is here and not to the side, after attaching it again, it will revert to its forward-facing position. If I'll find a way to fix that, I will, but I don't think it's possible, because we can only, if we look at it like this, we can only change pitch and roll, not like yaw with the tractor beam settings. But that's just how it is. I think it's fine. I think it's still pretty cool that it's actually part of the ship, that we actually used the separator, because it was my first successful use of that thing. But I don't know, if LCG Canyon doesn't like it, we'll of course make it to a sub-vehicle like the other ones, and then it might not look exactly as cool, but it will at least be completely automatic. In any case, that was that. Other than this, we have of course fiddled with some values, like making it more efficient and stuff like that. Made sure that power should work, and fiddle around with a lot of different small settings. That's kind of nothing that we can show, but we can go do a little virtual walkthrough to the different halls here. We have of course made the entire thing walkable to some sense, and we have the engine room inside of here, and we can again then walk out to the back of the ship. but that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk down in a virtual little walk and get out of there. And then we need to get out here. And then we actually need to go out of there. Or, of course, the other way, just across there. And then we can go into the back side of the ship that has another little door. And here we have a walkway down to some auxiliary engines. We just have some auxiliary steam turbines to provide some extra power generation, because I thought that in case one really big engine gets damaged, we still want to have power for the railgun, so I just added extra. We have the emblem of the or the Ryujin Federation there. And we have, then we can walk up here. We have some extra cargo here. I thought it looked pretty cool to have it as a cargo bay. And this room, of course, as I did show you a little bit before, Army of Gmodism HLP vessel in service of the Ryujin Federation, constructed by Gmodism Industries as per specification of the parts and generous funding by the Federation at date 2022. Emergency room, this radio is self-powered. Send SOS signal from here and wait for assistance. So in case the ship doesn't, we can't save it, any personnel is should go here and try to get an SOS signal, of course. Then we can go through here. We have a little walkway where we can look in at some part of the EMP artillery cram. Then we have totally harmless LAN nodes going through here. And of course, down here we got the bridge. Oh, right. Now I kind of realized that we probably should have this in a little faster speed. Yeah, anyways, we have some lights here now. And as we're going down, we can see we have some control things here. And they are, of course, at the window normally. And these also look out of the window. We have some personal controlling stuff there. And some on the bridge and some, decorative screens just to make it feel a little bit more alive-ish. Other than that, we have, of course, some basic smoke protection. I think we should walk through this in order, however. So let's just move forward to check it out here. And yeah, we can of course get up here, and by this means we get into the meeting room. So here we have a little serious officer and a lamp or communication device, I don't know, a jar of cookies, who knows. Here we have another sleeping one. We have someone controlling some important communications and some other important communications. And yeah, these are apparently cupboards. And we have a front view of what's happening. So I think that's pretty cool, and I think it was pretty cool to have the Army of Gmodism flag here. And of course this will change to the Ryujin flag or whatever flag anyone spawning this ship has, because we can't save flag. The flag is dependent on what you set up in the Z menu. Anyways, we can walk out from the other side and we get to see this interior room, and we come out to this section where we can walk down, and on this little walkway, and it leads to, well, corridor, and then we can go out via, well, beside the turret basically. And there is a proper entrance here, so that one doesn't have to go squeeze in between a live turret, for example. And that's basically that. That's our little interiors and stuff like that. So it will be very interesting and fun to do some battle tests of this video, but again, I will ask for some help in order to do that, because I just can't. You can already see, you know, we're still in degraded mood. And turning down to the lowest settings actually doesn't help. I don't know really why, but it seems that the RAM is most of the problem. Oh, these are some auxiliary amphibious missile interceptors. I think I showed them before, but they are there. And that should basically be it. I don't think I've forgotten anything important, but I'm pretty happy with it. It feels like a cool, strong ship, and I like the vibe of it. It's definitely the greatest thing so far to come out of the factories of the army of Gmodism. Even though I think the broadsword is super cute. I do. I want to make ships that look like that in the future too. Wow. Let the slideshow begin. I spawned a stronghold just because. I don't know. Intersection, I guess I should say. So here you can see they get first up in the air like this. I don't know what the speed is, but it's definitely kind of half speed almost or something. It's very slow. And here you can see there is a little pause. And the last 8 will get launched. Now, see the timing? See the timing? I did the timing. The timing works. I just had to test it. And as you can see, it's oh my god. Whoosh. It's super borked, like the speed of these things. Like, oh my god. Everything. It feels like when the game is lagging this much, you don't really know how things work in like reality. I guess we'll have to see this as some kind of approximation for how it could be. Now this thing is a little far away too. That's weird. I think that's yeah. Some of our guns aren't set up to fire at this distance, and that's probably good. Let's see here how far it. 3,000 meters. There should be a gauge engaged below 3,000 meters or something like that. Yep. Only the guns that have a chance of hitting. Here we can see the LAM system is doing a pretty good job. Of course, it's set up to deal with enemy incoming fire from ships larger than just however big the stronghold is. But our anti-missile missiles, railguns and everything like that is doing a decent job. I don't know what type of shell we follow now. But now we get the fine opportunity to hang around with these, which are repairing each other a little bit. Except these two got too close, okay. But it's a perfect target for them. Really meaty, they can really use the diff guns there. I don't know why it spams us about the connection rules, but whatever. Also, nothing that happens here is very reliable, because there is so much lag and the game performs differently dependent on how much lag there is, basically. Oh, there you see a nice little 10-meter rod of hash. Another one coming in there. You can see they're dealing some damage on this thing. It's down to 74%, yes, not sure how many seconds it has gone so far, but yeah. But anyways, this was just a little short intersection. We'll come back with proper testing footage some other time. But by all means, just because we finished this project, don't flee, don't unsubscribe, stay here. I promise you, we'll have new content coming. No, but seriously, after this, we are going to do a small builds for another army of Gmodism, and that is Lieutenant Asteria, if I'm not mistaken. I have the order, and the order is the order of making is by date of pledging. So I may be wrong here. I think it is Asteria that is next, and we're gonna make a smaller build for Asteria, Lieutenant Asteria, who wants to be surprised. So we'll see what we make. We'll try to make some pretty cool to surprise in there. Surpriser, I don't know. In any case, we should, after that, I think, be making a large ship for Captain Scooby Rocks. And it won't be this large, this is too large, this is enormous. But it will be a larger, so it will be around 700k ship. I think it's, I started on it a little bit, so I'm going to show you it grow too. And it's gonna be a pretty compact, strong ship that has some APS cannons, fast firing ones too. In any case, and then we have Lieutenant powered by greed, and we haven't yet talked about what we're gonna have there. And for Lieutenant Tyler Russ, I think Tyler Russ is a little bit busy, but I guess we will be contacted whenever Tyler has a good idea of what we should make. In any case, thanks a lot for watching, and thanks a lot to all of the commissioned officers in the Army of Gmodism, especially for supporting the channel. It's not only fun to make very cool builds for you, but it is also helping the channel enormously via Patreon, and I'm very thankful for that. And I hope that with the continuing and growing support, I'll be making better and more videos for sure. In any case, do stay tuned for the battle testing, but this is the final form of this ship now. So I'm happy with it, it's pretty cool, and I shouldn't repeat myself too much here, but I just like the vibe of this. And do please tell me in the comments what you think about this ship, if there is something you think I have to improve, and if there is something you definitely want to see in the future. We're going to talk with LCG Canyon and see if there is anything he wants added or changed on this vessel. Other than that, it should be complete if, of course, it passes the battle testing. And here is it when the bridge is down like this. We can easily access it with this walkway here. And yeah, and we can go on top of this. It's kind of docks. This area kind of docks on this floor level. So I guess if you just jump up there, you can easily go. Yeah. In any case, I think that's enough for this little video. So if you enjoyed it, do please leave a like, and do subscribe if you haven't already to catch some future nice video. Building this Super-Battlecarrier has been really fun, and I'm almost a little bit sad that it is done, or at least almost done, because then I'll have to dispatch it from the Gmodism Industries shipyards, and hope that it survives. Yeah. In any case, that's basically that. I haven't decided. I will talk with LCG Canyon and decide some for myself. I haven't decided yet if this ship will be publicly available or not. It depends also a lot what LCG thinks. So we'll see, but maybe in some future video I can share a link to the download of this ship. Or not, but I will tell you at least later on. In any case, thanks a lot for watching, do leave a like, and I'll see you next time. This is your host Gmodism, and I'm signing out. And of course, if you want to support the channel, you can do so as well, like the commissioned officers in the Army of Gmodism. Link to Patreon in description too. God damn it, Gmodism, you just talk so much. Can't you ever just stop talking? Oh, I think I should stop talk now. Yeah, so bye bye.